Starting.
Yeah, I got it too.
Hello, everyone. I am Tonya Hofmann of the Tonya Hofmann Change Your World So You Can Change the World TV radio show. I'm so excited today. I've got one of my favorite people in the whole world, Elizabeth McCormick, on the line with us. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hello, Tonya. How are you?
Fantastic. You know, that's one of the things that is so precious to me about having the organization. You know, I own the Public Speakers Association. It's Public Speakers with an S, association.com, all spelled out. And I get to meet amazing people like Elizabeth and so many incredible people. Elizabeth was at my conference in San Antonio this year. I'm hoping will be back next year for the next one. She opened for Les Brown, which was fabulous. Or I guess Les Brown opened for you. What was it the other way around? That's the whole thing, right? Is that you get great content, great information from great people. And one of the things we're going to talk a little bit about today is marketing. So if you have your own business, or you're thinking about starting your business, or you have a family or friend who has a business, or somebody you know nowadays that's probably self-employed. And a lot of you also have usually something going over on the side. And what we are going to cover today is a little bit about some unique marketing tools that you can use to make yourself stand out, show yourself as the expert that you are, and get your message out there. So Elizabeth, tell me a little bit about this new idea that you came up with and some different techniques that you see is very impactful for people.
Well, I knew that as a speaker, I needed to be out there more. I needed a product to sell. I needed to get more media. But I found that the media really only wanted credible authorities and experts. And in order to be an expert, you needed a book. So then I was stressing over the 200-page novel, memoir book, and just, it just really was stressful to me to go through it. So I was writing bits and pieces of it and kind of working at it, but I didn't feel it. And then I attended a training, and at this training, this person recommended these little, he called them a coaster table book. So, and I went, oh my gosh, this works. Now, he talked about these books being for to give away free, to get booked as a speaker. But to me, it was like ding, 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 because these little tip books are perfect for me to both target a specific audience, and it's still a book, even though see how skinny that is? It's still a book. It's published. It's got this one has my picture on the front. It has a picture on the front of me. It's just given me a huge platform, and what it's allowed me to do is a couple things. So the first thing, Tonya, that's just been awesome with us, is that it's allowed me to put out content that's specific for an audience. So I'll give you an example. I was already booked to speak at a big network marketing conference. So I created a book that my whole series is Sword of Success. So it was Sword of Success for network marketing.
Lovely.
How to charge and explode your network marketing business. So it was targeted to them. So I took this book to that conference that I spoke at, and between this one and a couple other ones that I had, in 3 days we sold over $4,000 of books. More than paid for, more than paid for, and this is all we offered. I didn't have other big coaching programs or anything else. It was just this, and then it got me out there. And then from there, this book got in the hands of another company, and then that company hired me as their keynote speaker. So then it created this whole thing moving in this direction. And in fact, I even had somebody say, "Oh, so you're a network marketing speaker?" "Oh no, I'm not. I have this one over here on something else." So over in the corporate sector or entrepreneurial, and it allowed me to show my expertise very targeted without creating this whole new platform over and over again. So that's the first thing it did. But the other thing that's really cool is it allows me to collaborate with other experts that are doing something and to do some partnerships. So what I've done is, like, this one is with got Tony Harris, who's another PSA. She's a director, isn't she?
Yeah.
So Tony Harris is on the cover here, and she's an expert in email marketing. But I was already speaking to entrepreneurial groups, so I partnered with her and said, look, if we share strategies and some email marketing strategies and then some entrepreneurial strategies and combine them into one book, I can promote this book at all these entrepreneurial groups that I'm at that you're not there. So by partnering with somebody else. So we got really smart and strategic with this and really figured out the process of publishing. And because of that, Tonya, you know that I launched a publishing company this year.
Yay!
So Sort of Success Publishing, and we are going to specialize in this little size. It's a custom size, it's a custom template, and we're going to provide this not just for speakers, not just for authors, not just for radio show hosts, but I've got a chiropractor doing his own series. So I want you to think beyond the single book, and for everyone watching to think about the long term and how can you create a series that has some longevity that can show the depth and breadth of your expertise. So I'm working with a chiropractor on a series of books. I'm working with a skincare company to do a series of books on health and wellness and anti-aging. So,
Nice.
What could you do for the different target audiences you have as a company? I'm not going beyond the speaking, but what could you do to establish you as an expert to a different market or the market you're already in that would allow you to expand your reach? And also with this book, then you're now an expert in the eyes of the media too.
Well, and I know
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so cool. That's why I'm going to be in your next whole series, right? And one of the things that, it just made sense to me, because my first book, A Client Today is a Coffee Shop Way, took me 2 years to write it and 6 months to edit the puppy. And that was through 10 edits. It was I'm done editing. And
you
from
have to
that
read
moment
it
on,
every single time.
and I was like, that is the last time I spend that much time doing one single thing. And when this whole idea came out and you told me about this tip book, I just jumped all over that. I'm like, it just makes so much sense. You can get down to the point. And I think even when I go to, conferences and speak like you do, you've got your big book and you're going to have your little book. And I think you even said you sell more little books because people are like, oh, I can easily read this in a short amount of time. They don't want to have to sit down and read a whole book.
That's exactly it. These little ones outsell my big book 3-1. 3-1. It's crazy. But what they do is they walk up into the table and they flip it open and they look at it and they're like, oh, I can read that.
Right.
Oh, this is it's like reading social media or tweets. It's just easy content. And this is honestly, people don't want to sit. I mean, not everyone, thank goodness for our big books, right? But,
Right.
But a lot of people, they'd be sitting in a shelf. So, but a lot of people, they don't want to sit and read a big novel in a sitting. They want short takes, especially when you're talking about nonfiction, information marketing, that kind of information. Now, they want things in the short bites that they can understand and take and implement quickly. And so with this, we're giving them the speed.
And you probably look at, realtors can write about, how to buy a house. And of course, at the end, it would make sense to say, all of these tips is things I do. Or, whatever profession somebody's in.
And then, you could cross-promote to something else that you have going on over here in the back, and we create other opportunities within the template for you to say, here's another program, or here's our services, or here's our website and our brick and mortar, or the skincare company that I'm working with is going to actually have pages in the back that recommend certain products that they endorse.
Oh, nice.
So they're going to have actually almost like advertising in the back after you've read the content and see what an expert they are and why you should care.
Love it.
It's really, this thing is really taken off for not just for speakers, but for all markets.
Yeah, I can see how, if you're going to go to a dentist and he's got a book that he's written and it's telling you things that you need to do at home, I mean, just that and handing it to somebody and saying, or even if they're an orthodontist and they want to give it to each kid, things to do with your teeth, now that you got braces or whatever, it just sets you apart and makes you stand out from everybody else.
And are they going to, when they get that book and it has something actionable that's helping them, are they more likely to pass that book to somebody else or tell somebody else about it? Because you've created this whole value add of information into what you're already doing.
I love that. So tell us a little bit, how do they get a hold of you and find out more?
So Soar to Success, and it's so you can see the backwards number 2. It's a big 2. We don't do TO, we do everything 2. So Soar to Success Publishing.com takes you straight to our info page about the tip book and how to start your own tip book series or even just a single standalone book. We help all business owners and speakers get what they need to set up their own book. We
and
do
so
the book
it's
cover
SOAR,
design, we do the content.
SOAR.
Yes. SOAR. Yes. SOAR, the number 2, successpublishing.com.
Perfect. And tell them a little bit real briefly about who you are and what you've done in kind of a brief synopsis of your fabulousness.
Okay, really quick. Black Hawk pilot in the Army, worked corporate when I got out, fell into speaking by popular demand. People wanted to know more about being a female helicopter pilot, and now I travel all over the world and do motivational speaking full time, 150, 160 engagements a year, and have a great team that supports me and my business and the publishing and to keep everything going. And I'm just love everything that I'm doing, and I'm so in my purpose of helping others every day.
Oh, and that's one of the things, Elizabeth and I do a lot of stage, we do a lot of, seems like we're at a lot of events together. And every time I love to see the reaction in the people in the audience, right? I mean, that's why we do it, is that, oh my gosh, I can't wait for y'all to hear Elizabeth's story. If you have not seen her in person, she's got several events during the year that you can go to. So just check out, they could probably on the publishing site find more about you, or is there a link to you?
Yep, that site. Yep, everything links and cross links, and you'll see everything there on the Soar to Success Publishing.com.
Perfect. So book Elizabeth to speak at your next event. She's amazing. I always love having her. She's always fantastic. You won't be disappointed. So thank you so much for coming on today. There is so much. We'll have her. She's just a wealth of knowledge that I can have her come on for every single day and we won't get bored. So we'll have you come back on soon. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on, Tonya.
Perfect. So make sure that y'all are all here next week. We've got another incredible person, and start thinking beyond your box. Where do you need to create movement and excitement in your business? Is it something different, like a book that's stuck inside of you and that needs to explode out? It doesn't have to be so tedious that you have to feel like you're going to spend another 2 years working on it. So get connected to amazing people like Elizabeth and others that can help you move forward and make things happen. So all week long, that's your job, is to put yourself into action mode, go out there put your marketing hat on and say, how can I put together something amazing that people want to know? And they need to know. They need to know more about who you are and your message so that they can go further with you. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Elizabeth. Have you on real soon again. And I will see all of y'all next week.